Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to evaluate surfboard proposals using the Citizen Committee's evaluation matrix and the online pre-scoring survey. I will also point you towards helpful references and application materials that you will need to refer to in the process of scoring the proposals. So let's get started. First, I will show you how to score proposals prior to your ranking meeting. This will help you evaluate the value of each of the proposed projects according to their value to local communities, and help me to identify areas of agreement and areas for further discussion. We use the SurveyMonkey platform for this. This survey replicates the Citizen Committee matrix, also called the CC matrix, which is the tool used by the Citizen Committee to evaluate surfboard proposals. You will use the CC matrix to determine how each proposed project rates for several sets of criteria. So to begin with, see the email that I sent with links to the surveys, and I'll show that to you now. So each link will take you to a survey for all the projects that you're evaluating this year. The first page consists of directions to complete the survey, and then also a link to the project snapshot in the state's PRISM database. There's also a guidance document, which just helps you complete the survey with kind of question by question directions there. So in the CC matrix, you'll score each criterion with a +1, a 0, or a -1, meaning +1 means that the project has a positive socioeconomic effect beyond what the tag evaluated for its benefits to salmon and habitat. A 0 means that there are no socioeconomic effects to consider beyond its biological benefits. And a -1 means that the project has a negative socioeconomic effect beyond its biological benefits. You should score the projects based on their socioeconomic merits and not scientific or technical considerations. If you have scientific concerns, please note them for discussion during your ranking meeting. When you're ready to begin the survey, click the Next button at the bottom of the page. The first set of questions relate to cultural and social criteria. You will consider how the project impacts the Yakama Nation, agricultural interests, recreation, and community members' liability under the Endangered Species Act. You will give positive points where the project creates benefits and negative points where it creates challenges. For question number 4, which asks, how will the project change ESA liabilities for community members? Please refer to any tag comments about how projects affect Endangered Species Act liability for take, which is defined under the statute as the harming of a species listed under the Act. Please also refer to the tag's notes on whether projects benefit wildlife or other habitat for question number 5. Click the Next button. So the second set of questions relate to the economic effects of the project. You will assess whether the project has positive or negative effects on the local economy, as well as the cost effectiveness of the project. Click the Next button. The next questions on project context and organization ask you to consider how the sponsor sequenced the project relative to other projects implemented in the past, present, and future, and how that affects the community. Again, please refer to the tag's comments on project sequencing when answering question number 9, which asks, how is the project coordinated with other past, present, and future actions? Click the Next button. The partnerships and community support consideration questions ask whether the relationships necessary to make the project successful are in place, including those with landowners, restoration professionals, and other organizations, as well as asking if the community as a whole is in support of it. It also asks how the sponsor is using the potential surfboard funding to leverage outside funding. For question number 10, are the right partners involved to make the project successful? The Citizen Committee should consider both the support and involvement of partners, as well as the certainty that the appropriate partners are involved. For this question, you'll want to refer to a matrix found in the Citizen Committee Matrix Guidance document. It can be used to combine the elements of support by partners and the certainty that the right partners are involved to derive a score. So let me show that to you now. So here's that matrix showing the certainty that the right partners are involved and the community support and involvement. So you'll just use that low, medium, or high score along both the vertical and the horizontal axes to derive a score for question number 10. For question number 11, Citizen Committee members should refer to the tags notes related to landowner commitment. The Citizen Committee will only award a positive or a negative score if it believes that the tags evaluation has not captured this in its assessment. Otherwise, it should simply score this question as a 0. For question number 12, asking if the sponsor is using the surfboard funding to leverage significant amounts of outside funding, this is the only question that is scored as either a +1, meaning a positive effect, or a 0, meaning no significant effect. Where sponsors have leveraged funding above and beyond the required level, which is 15% for most projects, except design-only projects with a maximum surfboard request of $350,000, the proposal should receive a score of +1. Projects with only average match levels should receive a neutral score of 0. Please note that most sponsors do not list additional match in the PRISM cost summary section. They are required to submit reimbursements at the same percentage of match as they put into PRISM. For sponsors, tracking these costs is an administrative burden, so they enter additional match in their budget spreadsheets instead. See that information in the spreadsheets attached to each proposal in PRISM. Click the next button. So this concludes the questions rated on the CC matrix scoring system of +1, 0, and -1. So in the next section, you will record your thoughts about the strengths and weaknesses of each proposal. This will form the basis of the written record of the Citizen Committee's deliberations. During the ranking meeting, we will discuss and finalize these comments. This will be provided along with the final ranked list to our Board of Directors, be approved or remanded by them back to the Citizen Committee at our annual meeting that takes place just after the CC meeting each year. These notes will help them understand the Citizen Committee's rationale for its ranking of the proposals. So when you're finished, click the Done button. When the Citizen Committee members have completed their surveys, I will tabulate the results and enter them into an Excel version of the CC matrix. And here's what that'll look like. So where there's agreement on a score for a particular question, I will enter that into the spreadsheet. So that'll be an example for this question where 5 people gave it a 0. And that'll be the final score unless there are objections stated at the meeting. If there is a disagreement, I will tally the results, and I'll show that on the side here. I'll tally the results to show the range and distribution of scores. We will focus the bulk of the discussion during the ranking meeting on these questions to come to an agreement on them. Once that is done, the total score for each project will indicate whether the Citizen Committee thinks it has an overall positive or negative effect for the community. If it has an overall positive score, it may be appropriate to move higher up the final ranked project list than the tag score originally indicated. And if it has a negative score, it may have less socioeconomic value and be ranked lower. You will compare your scores ordered from highest to lowest with the tag scores. And this will be the starting point for the final ranked Citizen Committee list. The Citizen Committee will reorder the tags ranks when there is a social, cultural, or economic justification to do so. This will be indicated by a positive or negative score, which may indicate that the project should be ranked higher or lower by the CC than the tag did, based on its benefits for salmon. These justifications will be included in the notes developed from your answers to the surveys and discussed during the ranking meeting. The final ranked list will be used to categorize each project as high, medium, or low funding priorities. You can see that color-coded here. This will assist the committees as it determines the final ranked list and funding levels. So next, I wanted to show you some helpful references and application materials to refer to as you score the proposals. First of all is the evaluation packet found at the link that I sent out. So this includes the following items: a welcome letter with virtual meeting details for those calling into the evaluation meeting, a table summarizing the projects, the surfboard grant request amounts, and their relationships to recovery plans. Also included is a table showing landowner acknowledgement forms received to date. And links are also included to search results in the publicly facing version of PRISM for each project. PRISM is the state's online platform where sponsors apply for surfboard funding, and the public can find out information about projects and produce reports. And then next are application snapshots from PRISM, which include each project's maps and photos. So for each proposal, I've included all the photos that the sponsors submitted. As well as any maps, usually starting with the overview map to show the location, and then moving to more detailed maps. Also included are the sponsors' responses to the questions and comments from the review panel, the TAG, and the citizen committee. In addition to the applications are the following references extracted from the lead entity manual. So the citizen committee matrix guidance document, which I've already talked about, and this also explains how to score each question in the matrix and is also linked in the SurveyMonkey. There's also the description of the CC process and criteria. And this provides a higher level description of the citizen committee and its operation. And there's also the CC matrix itself. As well as a copy of the grant round schedule at the very end of the packet. I've also included the tag references since this evaluation packet also is sent out to them. The second set of references I would like to show you is the publicly facing version of PRISM. So to simplify the evaluation packets, we do not include all the application attachments, such as the full design sets. But to see all the attachments, click on the links to the proposals, which are found in the project summary table in the evaluation packet, and that'll take you to the publicly facing version of PRISM. So here you can see basic information about each project, including the financial request, a description of the proposed project, the project location, and other details such as work sites, project metrics, permits, etc. And then you can also see all of the project attachments for each proposal categorized by type. So thank you very much for watching this video. We're always available to answer your questions.